So I think we felt the need to add a cloud suite because one of the things that we always try and deliver as far as our clients are concerned is we really try and think about ways to help them grow their profitability in this market. And I think we felt that the solutions that are delivered via that mechanism really demonstrate that now. They're really delivering a good quality revenue stream that our clients can take advantage of. And it's a little bit new for a lot of our clients, it's a little bit unusual, and the fact that it's cloud is not really the key thing, I suppose. It's just that's how people recognize it. The way I think of it is really that it's a delivery mechanism. One of the things we've seen, especially in the video market over the years, is that doing a basic video call is one thing, but when you want to do clever stuff like bring multiple people together and type instant messages and everybody have different meetings at different times, that's expensive and it's been very, very difficult to get. So it's kind of been the reserve of the very large enterprise. But we know there's an awful lot of clients out there that could definitely benefit from all the same capabilities, all the same kind of clever capabilities, but they just don't have the money to spend to buy that really big, expensive stuff that sits in the middle. So cloud as a delivery mechanism really, really helps solve that because we're able to deliver big, expensive stuff cut up into small pieces and sold on a subscription basis, which means that anybody now, all of those smaller companies that could benefit from that kind of face-to-face communication can really get to use it without having to spend the earth. I think they need convincing because I think that a lot of people have looked at video conferencing, for example, before, and when they've looked at it, they've found that when they try to do something that perhaps is a bit more natural as far as video communication is concerned, that's been too expensive for them. So often when you go and speak to people now about this stuff, they either say something like, well, we've looked at it, but it's been really, really expensive, or perhaps they've looked at it some time ago, so the quality wasn't particularly good. Things have changed though now. So sometimes they need convincing to look again. The 3 points that I think they really need to consider, or the 3 options that they have, firstly are to look at whether they should buy something themselves, a platform that they stand up themselves, and then they create their own service, which they then carve up and sell out to clients on a subscription basis. Option 2 would be to sell somebody else's stuff. So in the video space, we're seeing some of the big boys, the Lifesize and Polycoms and people like that of this world come into that space and selling and positioning their own video services, which can be bought on a subscription basis. And usually they're not branded as a partner's service, they're branded as the vendor's service. So that's really them reselling somebody else's solution, I suppose. And then the third option would be to take something and stand it up that looks like you've stood it up yourself. So we're seeing a market that's developed for services that are, you can brand them, they're white labeled, so you can make the app look like it has your logo, or you can make the portal have your logo, and you can even provision the service yourself, and you can even provide analytics to the client yourself, which is a much lower cost way of creating option 1. How secure are cloud services is a question we get a lot, actually, and sometimes we actually have to clarify the question because people mean different things when they ask that question. Sometimes they mean, can someone who is looking after the service see what's happening? Sometimes they mean, can someone just break into the room and see what's going on when I'm in the middle of an important call? Sometimes they mean, can somebody else in the world see all the users and provide that information to somebody else? And so often we have to clarify which bit of security is it that they're actually interested in. All 3 of those things have measures to protect them, okay? So we find services nowadays that have measures in place, and all of our services have this, measures in place to ensure that there is consistent security applied to gathering data about users. In fact, most of them don't gather data of any kind at all. Secondly, they're all encrypted. So actually, if you study encryption in any detail, you'll find that the level of encryption these things have on them is almost impossible to break, even by sort of very intelligent security services. And thirdly, and probably this is the most frequent one, people do worry about whether someone could break into the call, and the answer to that is, well, there's PIN protection, there's chairperson control, you can drop people out of the call, you can mute them, and that sort of stuff. So really it's very possible to stop any of those kinds of intrusions. You can even do things like lock the room when everybody's in it, so no additional people can join. So really these days, I think, probably when you look at it, and also the data centers this stuff sits in, it's probably more secure than the alternative, which has been stuff sat in customer premises somewhere.